June 12th, 2023. We'll just do a quick roll call, and it is 12:30. Emily Dorn here.
Pat Sheehan here.
Bobby Hempling here.
Colin Harvey here.
Okay. Before we get to the consent agenda, do we have any public comment online or in person? And I feel like I'm echoing. Okay. Okay. No comment? Okay. We'll move forward with the consent agenda. Discussion and possible action on the minutes from the April 10th, 2023 RCDC meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move we approve the minutes.
Thanks, Pat. Second?
Second.
Thanks, Colin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries. Now the regular agenda. Discussion and possible action on the deliverables of phase 2 of the retail coach. So, Colin, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I'll take that. So, I had the takeaway last time to outline the scope of what that would look like, to review that with Aaron, which we did, and for Aaron to come back with an initial draft, which he has. What I thought I would do is just review with this group what we shared with Aaron, what he's scoping out, and suggest that potentially we can put a motion forward to just complete the negotiation of the contract if everybody's okay with the subject matter. The thing that's absent in the current draft is some of the subject areas, which I'll go through real quickly here, are lacking in being as time-bound as we want and specific as we want, but he's generally got it right. So it's not like the contract's off. It's just we want to be able to refine that, and so in hopes that we don't have to talk about it twice. But so this is what we went through, and again, the theme we talked to Aaron about last time is we're done studying stuff and we're going to start doing stuff. And so one of the suggestions that he actually added to our list was that we have an external RCDC communication. That he said there's in his work in phase 1, he learned a lot about that there's sort of inconsistent perceptions in the community in terms of what Rolling Wood's open for and excited about as it relates to the commercial corridor, et cetera. So he goes, it would do you guys some good to get a consistent, message out there from a PR perspective, that you guys are open for business and excited to work with people. Secondly, I'll kind of cover this in two aspects. There are 2 areas that in sort of the list of properties in the commercial corridor that seem to show specific promise that we wanted him to have a high degree of focus on. But then there's also just making sure we have a comprehensive list of, and he did some of this in phase 1, but I don't know if it's 100% complete, which is a listing of every single property, when the lease is up, what is their strategy, what do we think the strategy should be in terms of engaging with them, but with a specific focus on one, Rolling Wood Plaza, which we asked him to try and re-engage with those 2 developers and see what's possible that fits within the confines of the definitions set forth in the comprehensive plan. As well as he continuously has commented that the Park Hills Baptist Church seems to be a place where that they're in trouble from a financial perspective, and there may be an opportunity. So those were 2 very specific opportunities, but then we also asked him to make sure we have that working property list, which would be an input to another thing that we've asked his help for, which was, he talked about the development of a commercial exchange. And that would be getting together, the property owners, the developers of the area, and starting to establish and meet on, what are the objectives of our community, and then how does that intersect with the objectives of those developers and those property owners. And so one of the things that he would do is he would help us bring that group together. We would help establish a set of sort of guiding principles of what we're trying to accomplish together, and then we start to work that as different things happen with their properties. We have the awareness, and they have the awareness of us, that we could actually do something different as opposed to just opportunistic.
Yeah.
So that was a big piece. Then he had I think the last major one was the development of an incentive policy framework, developing just potential income sources, structure, policies, uses. I think that's fine. I'm not sure again how impactful that will be, but I think it's worth having it defined, and I don't think it's gonna, be significant in terms of cost. Can you think of anything else that Emily, that we asked him to do?
No, I mean, to your point, just the outlining of the timing of when we wanted to have these things accomplished. Like, for example, the commercial exchange, is it we do it twice a year, if we all agree to that, and is it once in the fall, once either right after spring break, or right before school gets out, just to what does that cadence look like?
Right.
But no, those are the big picture
Yeah,
pieces.
and that's the exchange we have to have, because we outlined by step a date and said, hey, this may or may
Yeah.
not be realistic, but it's a start, and then
Yeah.
can you refine it? And then he kind of removed the dates.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna need to add those back in.
Yeah.
But that's sort of the extent of it. So I don't know if anybody has a concern with maybe approving Emily and Megan kind of fine tuning the contract, or do we
Or
need to bring it
comments?
back again?
Anyone?
No.
Pat?
No.
Okay. So we need a motion.
Okay, so motion to approve the scope as outlined for the Phase 2 work and for the contract to be finalized by Emily and Megan.
Seconded.
Okay. We have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Will I need to bring the final contract back to the group? No, okay. Perfect. Okay, moving on to number 4, discussion on city council's request for the use of RCDC funds to make capital expenditures for the trail, drainage, parking lot, and other park improvements. This is,
I apologize. So if,
Oh,
the
sorry.
only thing that would need to come back is if there ends up being a difference in
any-
amount.
In amount.
Yes.
Correct. Sorry. No, thank you. Mr. Glasheen?
Hello. So, we continued to discuss this issue at council too about, what could we do with RCDC? And, when I started the discussion, I'd come up with the parking lot and the trail, and then the council added some drainage issues at the park as ideas. And then when I spoke to you guys, y'all said, well, if you want us to help with something or get involved in it, go ahead and do the engineering first, because I think I came and asked y'all to consider doing the, paying for some engineering and do some planning and engineering first, so it's something specific. And you mentioned, I think, the sidewalk down to,
The sidewalk and then sort of the
On Edge
bike
Grove.
path
And the-
behind Eames Creek.
and the path back there, is that along Bee Caves, like behind the Shell station?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and all that?
exactly, between
Yeah.
Shell and the
So,
Creek.
and I kind of had a little tunnel vision on the parking lot at the park when I first brought this up, and so I was like, we don't want to get off on other stuff. But the more I thought about it, I thought those are great ideas, and also just the concept of having a broader vision of like trying to keep thinking of things that we could do that we can legally do with RCDC money that would stimulate development. And I especially like the bike path or walking path, improving that creek behind all those buildings there, because there's about 8 properties there. And, I've expressed my opinion before that it's hard for us to like just give a developer or property owner money to make something happen. But if you improve the surrounding area like that, I could see where when we go to Las Palomas restaurants, they got a little patio, but if a restaurant would build a freestanding restaurant with a big patio, that we could improve that where people could not only walk back there, but we could even let them set up tables, back there and sort of expand their footprint. I think that could really stimulate the kind of development that we want, which is restaurants, because that's who generates sales tax. And so I think, we should keep thinking about ideas along those lines. One of the things I'm going to ask council to do at the next meeting, I've already put it on the agenda, is to come up with a proposal from a landscape architect to do the design work. Not to do the design work, but a proposal for design services to come up with enough of a plan that we could sort of cost estimate it and in general terms, maybe not final design, but do enough, takeoffs and stuff on what it would cost in terms of material and such, sidewalks or whatever. So we're moving forward with it on that end on council, but I just encourage everyone to do what what you guys were doing at our last time I was here, which is brainstorm things like that might work and come up with maybe, among the things we've discussed, the parking lot up at the park, there's some drainage issues at the park that we could address that are, I think, simple fixes. But I love the sidewalk, developing that creek path as an idea and the sidewalk. And if you guys get some consensus on some of that stuff that you think ought to be prioritized, because we could sure spend lots of money back there on that creek, and it puts a lot of pressure on those buildings, not pressure, but support for redevelopment of those properties. So anyway, that's where we're at.
Agreed.
And one thing I wanted to say and sort of comment to that is, one, obviously I agree because it was from the last conversation, but one of the things I think that might help us a little bit as we're progressing through all of these ideas and things that we're doing is I went back to the comprehensive plan and one of the things as it talks around the parks, it says, hey, basically we didn't incorporate the parks because we just did a giant thing on the parks, which was its own thing in 2018, and it's about an 80-page thing, and it's like if you look, so basically by definition one incorporates the other and gives you one plan. And if you look at the summary recommendations in both plans, it is this stuff. And so it might be in our best interest as we talk together about this and as we come back, is we're all just executing on what everybody gave us feedback on. And I think that just might help us in terms of like, oh, this isn't new.
Yeah.
It's backed by 140 pages of work.
Right.
And it's tied together and it's approved and it's got hundreds of thousands of hours of inputs and hundreds of people.
Yeah.
That's all true, and I agree with all of that. I think that taking it to the next step is to prioritize a couple of projects and then get a design far enough along to get cost estimates.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So that's kind of the next step.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think we have linkage though back to this.
You're right. It's there. Part of the problem with it is that there's a lot of it. And
Yeah.
so it's hard to sift
Pick
through.
which is.
And then the other
right.
problem with it is a lot of it is sort of a little fuzzy conceptual, and we need more like defined so we can say, okay, what's this going to cost?
Yeah. No.
Keep moving in that direction.
Agree, but the cool thing is when you get into the appendix, especially of the comprehensive plan, like you have like just instead of there's 90 pages that support it, but then you get down to like 37 things, and it's like build that walkway behind or build that bike path. It's like fix that drainage. It's so you're right. Like the next thing is you can't implement that without the work we're contemplating here. But I just think from a communication perspective across all these groups and to the community, as they see us doing these things, it would be really great if they saw, hey, all the work I did on the park plan wasn't a waste because we incorporated it and we started doing it. I just think from a
It's a great point.
From a PR perspective.
from PR perspective.
No, it's a very good point. Awesome. Okay, well, keep us updated, Mr.
That sounds
Glasheen.
great.
It'll be a long, slow process.
Yeah, that's okay.
Shocking.
It's exciting, though. Yeah. Baby steps. Okay, moving on to agenda item number 5, discussion and possible action regarding the administrative services agreement with the city of Rollingwood. Ashley.
So we put this back on the agenda to mainly discuss the amount of the contract with the city. Currently, that is $72,000. Just wanted to get y'all's thoughts on whether that'd be something to increase. Our thoughts would be to get that over to council, whatever that is, so we have that all figured out before the budget process. That way they can approve it all at once. And I also wanted to check with Megan. I don't know that we necessarily need to reapprove it each year based on the language of the administrative services agreement. I think it says it renews for successive years unless one party provides 30 days notice of termination. So I don't think we necessarily need to reapprove it, and there aren't any numbers in it anymore, but just wanted to get talking on that 72 and see if we still thought that was a good number.
I think it's a fine number, unless anyone else has a comment.
72,000? That's fine.
Yeah. Okay,
Cool.
great.
That was easy.
So no action. Okay. Number 6, discussion regarding the RCDC budget for the fiscal year of 23-24.
So again, we just threw this in here a little bit early. You'll see in the packet now, there are the draft budget documents that include all the current projects, and so obviously some of those might fall off if the projects are completed, or it might be something that the RCDC either didn't get to this year and wants to bring up for next year. We can put it up on the screen if that'd be something
Yeah,
y'all want to
actually,
take a
don't
look
mind
at.
doing
Yeah,
that.
let's do that.
I just want to see your cool tech skills.
They're pretty impressive.
No pressure.
Now I know, now I feel like I need to show something super cool.
Just the touch screen is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So basically, we put it all into one spreadsheet here. Normally, these are each separate departments. So you have your economic development department, which just has your business promotion. That's usually in at 10% of our projected sales tax. Here is our ASA and legal expenses. Those are just non-project related funds. And then down here is all your projects. So currently, you have OPEC legal, the commercial code updates in accordance with the comp plan, and those are actually in process right now. I'm not sure that the entire bill will be seen this fiscal year, so there may be, council may want to bring it back for a smaller amount next year, knowing that they will have only used a portion of this year's. And then the other two, I believe, were both RCDC generated projects. So, just wanted to get discussing on this. We'd probably need this kind of finalized by July, August, maybe September at the latest. The city council does have to approve this budget. And so it would go back to them before their budget process, and they usually do all of their review and approvals in September.
Right. And we do not have to put the retail coach on there, right? Because it fits, or I guess it doesn't have to be approved by the council because it fits in that. We always go back and forth on this.
I think it would come out of the business promotion
That's
and
right.
development.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay,
Right.
okay.
Exactly.
But would you line item it in there?
Yes.
Okay. And that would be the only thing that we would add unless other projects came up.
I don't know why it's escaping me. What lives in the mobility, connectivity, and safety plan second from the bottom?
I believe that was the thought, was the park, or the kind of the down Edgegrove,
Sure.
the way the
The
commercial and
speed.
the residential areas
Yeah.
are combined.
So we might want to roll that
Traffic plan.
out of this and back
Into what we're trying- yeah.
contemplating here.
Right.
Right. What is the last one on there?
Park amenities and promotion, that was the 3,000.
Oh, that's right.
For the,
Okay,
stand, or,
okay, which,
I think that was, Brian's.
Brian,
I-
right.
That's
okay. Okay,
So just wanted to get everyone thinking on that now, we don't have to make any decisions
Right.
today.
okay. Thank you.
And I'm sorry, Ashley, can I ask one question? So also the advertising is coming out of that promotional budget as well?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
Yeah.
thanks.
Okay. So I guess if there's any additional projects or anyone wants to do, because this is just a discussion, because we'll have to get this to the council pretty, like, by July, right? August?
August.
Okay.
Probably have it figured out here in August and get to them in September.
So I wonder how do we get our arms around a number of what we're talking about here? Because we would want to put that number in there, would we not?
Oh, for what?
For what
The
we're
proposal
talking
of-
about here regarding.
Well, I think we have to see what happens at the council meeting.
Oh, okay.
Is that right, Mr. Glasheen?
I think we're still in the consensus building.
Got it.
phase,
Okay.
Okay.
Kind of what to focus on, but do you guys think that if we told them focusing on that connectivity and that project down there at the creek, that would be a good one?
I think so,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that we would financially
And
back,
Contribute.
yeah, contribute to back it.
We could put a lot of money into that.
Yeah.
It's the
Pretty quick.
sidewalk.
But it's one of the few things that we talk about that everybody's in consensus. They want more restaurants.
Yep.
We want to be able to walk down.
Yeah.
It's using these funds for something that's a big enough project where it makes an impact.
Yeah.
All those things that go into it. It's nobody's gonna. I should say nobody. Few
Yeah.
people will
There's a larger consensus.
will
Yeah,
fund a
there's a
larger
few. Yeah.
consensus than we would anywhere
I
else.
think it'd be easy to do a
Like a-
takeoff on too, because you're talking about linear feet of sidewalk. So it's
Yeah.
easy to measure
Right.
and estimate,
Mhm.
with probably some drip irrigation along
Mhm.
the sides of it or something. It'd be easy to start, maybe some lighting,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think lighting back there is gonna be important.
Yeah, I think if I think about how the Katy Trail works in Dallas, which is very similar, the
Yeah.
lighting's a thing.
Yeah, I know.
But there's easy alternatives. You don't have to run power anymore. There's easy solar.
Exactly.
I mean, you
That's-
can
yeah.
get it done.
Well, so
Exactly.
maybe after the council meeting, you kind of funnel back to Colin and I what you think
Because I just want to make sure we
is a
put money out there to
cost,
do
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so, I could throw out stuff out there. One of the questions could be
Kevin,
like,
turn
when
it
you,
I know.
I realize I also wasn't speaking in the microphone,
I was asking Alex Robinette if she knows some kind of landscape architects that she likes, and she threw me a few names.
Mm-hmm.
But the first step is going to be to get a proposal for design services to see, so what's it going to cost to design something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't, I can just tell you guessing that's going to be probably $20,000 or $30,000
Right.
bucks right there. And so is that something you guys, like if we're talking about just the design for that project, that trail, is that something you think RCDC would want to go ahead with? Or would we tell council you should pay for that and then RCDC might pay for the project? I think you guys would have a little more like ownership of it if
Right.
you guys did it.
I think
I'd
we
pay
should.
for it.
I think
we
we should
I think
do
we
it.
absolutely should.
RCDC should pay.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I can throw you some names, and if you guys wanted to talk to companies about getting a proposal for services, or if
Yeah.
you want us to help you do it or do it together, I mean.
I
it's
mean,
like-
don't you think it's better, it's buy-in for both groups if we're both doing it together, right?
I think for sure we need to have,
Yeah.
and I think it would be helpful also if somebody came from RCDC to council and said,
Yeah,
this is what we're thinking we'd like to do, and we could sort of help, we could get, if we talk to a landscape architect designer before we go to, or even talk to a couple different ones,
mm-hmm,
and go, before we go to council and say, these are the proposals we've gotten for the design services to do a path and to incorporate lighting or whatever. Say, this is what it would cost to design, and then, even then, they could give you a wild wag on what the project cost would be, just based on the linear footage, I would think.
I mean, don't like $20,000 to $30,000 to ask somebody to put a proposal together.
No, not for a proposal. They're gonna do a proposal to do design services, and the proposal might say that if you hire us, it's gonna cost you $30,000 to have a completely
Oh, yeah,
designed
yeah,
plan
okay.
that is
Yeah.
biddable.
Yes.
So they won't charge us anything to put together a proposal
Right.
for services. But then the services, you'll get biddable and buildable plans
right.
Yeah.
for your $30,000 bucks. Yeah.
I'm also wondering. I have no knowledge of this firm, but when I was going back, kind of backtracking through to the park plan, they partnered with a design firm to do all of that.
Nudge.
Yeah, I don't know if they're any
It's
good or
called.
not.
And Alex mentioned them, and her she texted me this morning when I asked her, and here's what she said. She says, Kurt Arnett at Sitio, SITIO Design, has done a lot of work in Rollingwood, including the entry signage. And we've had some submittals for the Austin Park Foundation from TBG,
Yeah,
Design Workshop, Hitchcock, and Nudge, who did the Rollingwood Park Master Plan. I don't think it would hurt to talk to more than one.
Oh, for sure.
oh, yeah,
I just mean include one that's done some work with us too.
Yeah, Nudge is one of them that's
Okay.
done some work, so I would include them. And those names are probably a good list to draw from. And
Okay.
if you want me to forward that to anyone, I will, but I guess you guys just heard it.
okay, that's
Colin,
super
I'll
helpful.
just directly hit you on WhatsApp
Okay.
with that list.
Yeah, that's great.
And then if you guys want to do the outreach to those firms and get some proposals and talk to them, and then that way we bring something to council that they
Right.
can vote on, but I'll give them an update at the
Okay.
next meeting, and maybe we can get a proposal to them by the one in July or something, or August, or whenever we
Okay.
get it done.
Okay,
But I'll keep them updated that this is the direction we're looking at. I think it'd be cool.
I think
I mean,
it'd be
it'd be a
amazing.
nice amenity for the city to have
Yeah.
another place to go do something,
Mhm.
connect.
that drives revenue.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think
Yeah.
long-term drive revenue.
Because I think that's where you finally get somebody to go look at that, like Goodwill building and go, oh, wait a minute.
Thank you.
I could raise this, put a nice patio out there, and this is a cool spot now.
It's that build it and they will come kind
Yeah.
of. deal.
Yeah,
But within the range of the funds we actually have.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Really good impact.
Okay. Discussion, number 7, discussion and possible action regarding availability for July 10th and August 14th, which is our RCDC meeting dates. So I put this on here because July is always sort of hit or miss with having,
I'm in Colorado. I can dial in, but
I know, but-
I won't be here.
there's
I'm
no
not here
guarantee.
either.
I would
Shocking.
propose,
I said, I'm not gonna be here.
Shocker.
Yes.
I propose we skip July and confirm August 14th, which that is the start of school week.
Yeah, I'll be back by then.
But people are back by then.
I think we should maybe see how we can start to make some progress.
Yeah,
with
but that
those
gives us
folks.
time to like call the architect. you
Yeah,
know.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, we can do
Get-
we can do stuff like that. But we don't have to meet to do that. And then when we
Right.
come back together, we can start to have some stuff.
Okay. Okay, so we'll cancel the July meeting and then have the August 14th meeting.
How could I email, who can I email? Can I email,
Yeah, that's fine.
how can I find y'all's emails?
We can just give it to you.
Okay. I've got so many different platforms here, Outlook, WhatsApp, chats.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, there you go.
Okay. So I made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye
Aye.
To cancel the meeting.
in July and have the.
All right.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Just making sure.
Everyone in agreement, a motion to do
Yeah.
nothing.
Okay.
I'm all in.
Okay, number 8, RCDC financials through May of 2023.
Before we do that, I'm gonna say goodbye, because I'm checking on their link, saw it on our field rehab project over there. and it's
Okay.
looking cool, so I'll drop by and look at it.
All right.
Awesome.
Looking good, Phil and I have been spending a lot of time over there. getting it done.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, you go.
thank you.
I'll send that email of that.
Yeah.
news.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
On the financial statement for the period ending April the 30th, you have received so far in revenue sales taxes, 101,302, which is a little bit behind schedule. A couple of months ago, you guys were ahead. Now you're slightly behind, 1 or 2 percentage points behind. We'll see what happens as far as the trending goes, whether it goes up or down. The only comment I have on your balance sheet is currently you have $378,784 in cash and $130,429 at tax pool. You all might want to consider investing some of that money. So I don't have the authority to do any of that. That's strictly up to you guys.
Mhm.
So you all might think about it and consider spending, investing some of that money. The way to do it would be you would wire the money from your bank account here at First Citizens over to tax pool.
What does tax pool pay?
Right now, I think they're paying 3% maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that.
That's
I
the
can find
only-
out. I can find out. And get back with you.
Yeah.
But
And
anyway, consider investing some of that money.
and what would you let us know what amount you consider to be appropriate?
That's strictly up to you all because I don't know your plans in terms of how much
Okay.
money you're going to spend between now and whenever.
But tax pool is just a daily account. You could draw
Yep,
out.
yeah, that was my next
right,
question.
right.
Doesn't matter.
Okay,
Yeah, it doesn't
okay, that was
matter
my
then,
next
yeah.
question.
Doesn't matter.
Okay,
Right. You can put it in one day and take
and
it
take
out
it,
the
okay,
next.
Yeah.
perfect.
Anyway,
Do we have
those
to vote
are the
on
only
that?
comments I have
No.
regarding your
Do we have to vote on that?
No,
No,
that's
no,
something
no,
that
no,
we'll
no.
probably put on the August meeting,
Yeah.
August 14th.
That's strictly up to you all.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, that's helpful.
Okay, thank you.
It's worth considering for sure. As
Yeah,
we,
especially if it's a daily account, I don't know why you wouldn't.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
That's the only alternative for parking that cash?
that's a good question. I think so. That's the only, Abel, sorry. That's the only alternative?
That's the only alternative we recommend because of liquidity purposes. Any other investment, you have to pay somebody fees.
Okay.
You can get
Money market.
you can get 4% on a savings account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's worth the trouble.
Okay.
You can get money
We'll put that on
markets
the
at
August
4.5.
meeting to talk through that.
4.9 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe we could have the staff look at some other options to consider.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we just at least do this for now. Like if it's as easy as like just put it in there and start getting 3%. We should
Yeah, I
do
mean,
that.
better than sitting in nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so is there a motion?
Um,
Do we need one? Okay.
What, I didn't hear.
So we can just,
I don't think we're posted for action, but I think, we can talk, and if we can just do that with a direction, do we need direction?
Just moving funds, I don't know that you need actual direction from your board on that,
okay.
because you're not approving your monthly financials, you're not approving. We'll call it staff direction, and if, I visit with the attorney that he has a concern with that, we'll put it on the August, but hopefully
I mean, we
can
all-
just do it with staff direction.
Yeah.
And we have $378,000, so you could park $350, and that, I mean, we haven't been using money anyway.
Yeah.
I'd say 300. Just leave
Just-
100 in the account.
Okay.
Because we've got 72,000, we've got some,
Well, that's, yeah, because we have to pay retail coach.
and we have to pay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. 300?
300?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay, I'm going to call the meeting adjourned at 1 o'clock, or 1:04, excuse me. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye. Motion carries. Thanks, everybody.